Hi everyone, welcome to Impact Academy. So today let us look at one-liner questions from Indian Polity. So they are also very important. So today, if you look at civil services or Group One or Group Two, they are not exactly asking these type of one-liners, but that doesn't mean that you should not read them. Having a very strong foundation of these one-liner type of questions will definitely give you an edge. Okay, so especially for Group Two also, because there are 75 questions. Even if they ask 30 to 40 tough questions, okay, sentence based or long statements, etc., there is a very good chance that they will ask, okay, at least 20 to 30 this one-liner kind of things, and only if you are very strong in these one-liners, you will be able to answer the other questions. So don't underestimate these model papers. Okay, so this also will be somewhere around 20 plus model papers. We'll try to complete as much as possible. So this is the one of the model paper. Okay, so let us continue. So before the advent of the Indian Constitution 1950, India was governed by, okay, Government of India Act 1935. So even if you look at salient features of Constitution, I mean from where it was borrowed, you will see that the Government of India Act 1935, most of it has been borrowed from this. Okay, so GOI Act of 1935. Okay, before the Indian Constitution 1950, okay, even though we got independence in 1947, the Constitution came into being or came into force in 1950. Okay, before that it was governed by Government of India Act 1935. Next, the preamble to the Constitution. The preamble to the Constitution indicates the source from which the Constitution arises. Very important. It is not an appendix. It is not an essential component. Okay, it is not inviolable part. No, it has been what is amended. Okay, it 42nd Amendment Act of what is it? 42nd Amendment Act of 1976, right? Yes. So it is. So it indicates the source from which the Constitution arises. Okay. Next, fundamental duties enshrined in the Constitution are in consonance with. So if you look at fundamental duties, they are more in consonance with the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Okay, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Similarly, you have this objectives resolution. Okay, so objective resolution made by Nehru. So these questions are frequently asked. Direct to principles are associated with what? The fundamental rights are based on what, etc., etc. And we have taken the fundamental rights from the United States. Okay, direct to principles. Let me see that sources. So we have taken the from the US Constitution, we have taken fundamental rights, okay, all these things, and direct to principles we have taken from the Irish Constitution, okay. So those are important, and fundamental duties we have taken from the Russian, right? Where is Russia? See, Soviet Constitution, USSR, now Russia. Fundamental duties and the ideal of justice in the preamble. Okay, ideal of justice in the preamble and fundamental duties we have taken from the Russian Constitution. So fundamental duties enshrined in the Constitution are in consonance with the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So constitutionalism, so, is inherent in every constitution, connotes in essence of an unlimited government. So means despotism. So this is a negative statement. So constitutionalism doesn't mean that despotism or anything. Okay, and it is not that unlimited government or anything. It basically recognizes the need for limitation of powers of the government. So when you're talking about fundamental rights, what are fundamental rights? So for example, if a person has a right to speech and expression, that means for what? Okay, so he can voice against the government also. So even if the government wants to do something against the individual, he has the fundamental rights. So basically, the what you can say, these constitutional rights and all those things, there are limitation on the powers of the government. Okay, so directive principles are telling the government what to do. Fundamental rights are basically telling the governor what not to do. So remember that fundamental rights, especially, are a limitation on the powers of the government. Okay, so you have right to something. Suppose you have a right to religion. That means the government cannot force you. I mean, force any religion on you. Okay, so that is basically a limitation on the government. So that is how it is seen, and it is frequently asked also. Remember that. Fundamental rights are a limitation on the government, direct to principles. What is say? Encourage the government. Okay. So, which of the following accounts is it said that the Constitution of India is a rigid constitution like the federal constitution elsewhere? Okay. So the amendment affecting the federal framework must be ratified by not less than half of the states. So basically, you have, for example, amendment of the constitution. You have three types, right? Simple majority, special majority, and ratification by half of the states. So the amendment affecting the federal framework must be ratified by not less than half of the states. Now that is saying that the Constitution of India is a rigid constitution like the federal constitution elsewhere. Okay, so it is rigid. So Indian constitution is both rigid and at the same time flexible also. Okay, so why is it rigid? Because if you want to change something which affects the states, more than half of the states have to ratify it. So in that sense, it is rigid when it comes to federal nature. Okay, so this is not about a proposal for amending the constitution can be initiated in the parliament only. That does not. It's not because of the federal structure. Okay, procedure for amendment is not similar to that of ordinary resolution. So there is no provision for a joint sitting on an amendment bill in case of disagreement between the houses. So these are true. There is no provision for a joint sitting, and it is not similar to ordinary legislation. So all the statements are true. But if you are looking at rigid constitution like the federal constitution elsewhere, then this is what we're talking about. This is what is affecting the federal nature. The amendment affecting the federal framework must be ratified by not less than half of the states. Like we're talking about the say GST or anything which affects the states, then more than half of the states have to ratify it. So Ministry of Welfare in the Government of India was renamed as Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Okay, so Ministry of Welfare has been renamed as Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Try to remember that. So, who recommended the creation of Committee on Public Undertakings on Indian Parliament? So, these are also very important. Say, ARC, okay, first ARC, second ARC, Krishna Menon Committee, Tyagi Committee, Rajamanar Committee, all these are very important. Okay, what are those committees and what did they suggest? Those also are important. So, who recommended the creation of Committee on Public Undertakings? Krishna Menon Committee. So, recently in the quick review topics also we have seen, right? Krishna Menon Committee recommended the creation of the Committee on Public Undertakings. So, we've already seen what is this one particular committee for uh, estimates committee. Okay. So, we've seen here, right? Committee on Public Undertakings is Krishna Menon Committee, 1964. And estimates committee was on the recommendation of John Mathai. Very important. Okay, estimates committee is on the recommendation of John Mathai, and Krishna Menon committee is a committee on public undertakings. This is 1964. This is 1921, and public accounts committee is also very important. It was first set up in 1921. So we already seen, right, 22, 15 plus 7, 30 members. Estimates committee is the highest, largest committee. Okay, 30, 15 plus 15, basically 15, and sorry, all from Lok Sabha. Okay, Rajya Sabha has no representation in the committee, estimates committee. Very important. Fine. So now, who recommended the creation of Committee on Public Undertakings? Krishna Menon. And when was it? 1964. Try to remember all those things. Especially if you are preparing for Group 2, it's better if you can remember all those things. So what is meant by quo warranto? So this we are talking about basically fundamental rights. Article number 32. Okay, Article 32, that is the writ jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, and also uh, Article number 223, right? High Courts. You've already seen that. So when you're preparing for Group 2, you have to remember the articles also as much as possible. Writ jurisdiction is 226. Power of High Courts to issue certain writs. 226. Remember that. So 226 is writ jurisdiction of High Courts, and the 32, Article 32 is writ jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. And the writ jurisdiction of High Court is more wider than the Supreme Court. Okay, because Supreme Court can only issue writs for fundamental rights. So, what is meant by quo warranto? So basically, see, to have the body of, that means uh, to have the body is habeas corpus. Okay, so habeas corpus, this writ jurisdiction, it comes under fundamental. Okay, fine. So habeas corpus is to have the body of. Okay, and quo warranto is by what authority? By what authority you are having that position which you have. Okay, certiorari is to certify, and mandamus is we command, and prohibition is also there. That is to prohibit. So these are writ jurisdiction, different types of writs. I'm sure everybody is aware. So what is quo warranto? By what authority? Next, economic and social planning is in the dash list of the Indian Constitution. Okay, economic and social planning is in the concurrent list. So this is also very important. What is in state list, what is in concurrent list, and what is union list? There is no such thing as local list. Okay, so union list has 100. Okay, state list has I think 51, right? Union list, state list. Okay, so that will be here, seventh schedule, right? So this is also very important. All the schedules and all you have to remember literally by heart. Okay, part schedules and lot of articles. So union list will be 100, 61, not 51, 61. State list will be 61, and concurrent list is 52. Okay, originally 47, here originally 66. So 5 have been taken from here and added here. Okay, so okay, so it's also you have to look at what kind of things are there in the particular list. Like your union list will usually have banking, post office, defense, and all those things which need a certain uniformity. State list, the most prominent one, agriculture, law and order. Okay, and concurrent list will have education. Okay, weights and measures. Okay, newspapers and all those things. So just go through these lists. It's very important. So which of the following is not a constitutional agency? So Interstate Council is very important constitutional agency, constitutional body. Interstate Commerce Commission and Finance Commission. All these are very important. Now, Interstate Council will be somewhere around 246. Let's look. Interstate Council. Just a minute. So Interstate Council is Article 263. It's very important. Okay. Article 263 is provisions with respect to Interstate Council. Okay, 262 is adjudication of disputes relating to waters of interstate rivers or inter valleys. So that is also particularly regarding what to say this rivers and all. But otherwise, interstate council is 263. Okay, and frequently in this Sarkaria Commission, Punche Commission, etc., you look at this 263. Okay. Okay, so all these are this is 263. Planning Commission is not a constitutional body. Of course, now Planning Commission is not there. It has been replaced by Niti Aayog. Okay, and Finance Commission will be that will be two jurisdiction of. So Finance Commission is Article 280. This is also very important. And 279A is GST Council. Okay, all this is important. So GST is something that came new, right? So it has added 279A, Goods and Service Tax Council. So this is also important, frequently asked. And Finance Commission is 280. So recommendation of Finance Commission and all these things. Okay, these are also very important. And the 300A. So right to property has been removed from fundamental right and added in 300A. So 300A is persons not to be deprived of property save by authority of law. So only with the authority of law you can take a person's property. Okay, previously it was in fundamental rights, right? When it was in fundamental rights, that's why you have all this case, case one and the Bharati case and all these things. So the government was trying to take land from several entities because each person was having thousands of acres in one name, right? The Jamindars and all. So after independence, government wanted to bring in land reforms, okay, land ceiling acts and all. So everyone was going to court regarding this right to property. So the right to property was removed and it is no longer a fundamental right. It has become a legal right under 300A. So, which of the following recommendations have been made by Venkatachalaya Commission to improve the effectiveness of sixth schedule? Okay, so when you say sixth schedule, it will be provisions relating to the administration of tribal areas of states of Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram, and Tripura. So, this both fifth and sixth schedule are both fifth and sixth schedule are related to scheduled areas and tribes. Okay. So fifth is general provisions related to administration and control of scheduled areas and tribes. On the other hand, sixth schedule is provisions relating to the administration of tribal areas. Okay, so sixth is exclusively for tribal areas, and that too Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram, because the tribes there have not assimilated into the what are the Indian culture. Okay, they have a very unique and separate culture. Now Venkatachalaya Commission, what did it say? It said revive village councils with audits by CAG of India, remove overlaps in functional responsibilities within the states and the district councils. Okay, so those two things have been suggested by Venkatachalaya Commission. And make issuance of multi-purpose identity card for all citizens. This was not there in that particular commission. Okay, so remember these things. Revive the village councils, okay, and remove overlaps in states and councils. So those recommendations were given by the Venkatachalaya Commission. And these recommendations in general, Sarkaria Commission or Panchi Commission or Administrative Reforms Commission, all those are very important. So match the following. Impeachment of president. So we have impeachment of president. So president starts at 52, right? So which is near 61, so it would be 61. So that's why I said remember these articles. So now because I remember 52, okay, 52 is president, 52 is president. So procedure for impeachment of president is 61. So because I remember 52 and all these are very far, I was able to immediately make it 61. Okay, even though I don't remember 61, because I know president is 52, I was able to clearly find the answer. Now A3, there is only one A3. Okay. Next, separation between judiciary and executive. This comes under the directive principle 50 clearly. B1. So B1. Next, functions of public service commission. So usually public service commissions and all those things will be at this part. So functions of public service commission also we have seen 314, right? 314, 312, 314. Okay. So 312 is All India Services. Okay, remember this, very important. 312 is All India Services, and 315 Public Service Commissions of Union and State. Okay, so 315 is the Public Service Commissions. What is asking? Functions of Public Service. Anyway, the nearby article is 320, right? So 320 is Functions of Public Service Commissions. Okay, so even if you don't know the exact article, if you know the nearby articles, you can make it out. And advisory jurisdiction of Supreme Court is fundamental, right? 143, everyone knows, everybody should know. And Supreme Court is, we have seen 124, right? So that is why remember at least few articles, the landmark articles where it starts. So 124 is Supreme Court. So nearby all this belongs to Supreme Court, judiciary, etc. We have seen 131 original jurisdiction, 130 seat of Supreme Court, 132 is appellate. First, 131 is original jurisdiction, 132 is appellate. And we have also seen special leave to appeal 136. This is also important. 136 special leave to appeal by the Supreme Court. That also we have seen during the classes. Very, very important. And this one, 142 is very important. Enforcement of decrees and orders of Supreme Court as to orders. So basically, Supreme Court will give the orders and decrees. But if you don't follow, it can enforce it also. It can through punishment or anything. So it has wide powers under 142. Next, 143 we have seen power of President to consult Supreme Court, and under two circumstances. Okay. If it is regarding any pre-constitutional treaty, okay, or any other general law, we've seen. So if it is regarding pre-constitutional treaty or anything, then the Supreme Court is bound to give the advice. But if it is regarding any other law, the Supreme Court may or may not. It can refuse also. And whatever advice the Supreme Court gives is not binding on the president. Okay, it's just advisory in nature. That is why it is called as advisory jurisdiction. So all this is very very important. So impeachment is 61 A3 A3 separation between judiciary and executive Article 50. So B1 this is true. Functions of Public Service Commission C4. So C should be 4. This is wrong. Advisory jurisdiction D is clearly 2. So the no option is clear. Okay, this is also wrong. So option is not correct. But you remember the articles and the respective functions. Okay, very important. That's why you need to remember more as many articles as possible. So which article facilitates the formation and monitoring of cooperative societies? So cooperative societies is very recent. Okay, 191C. So you also have cooperative society in 243. Okay, 243. See 243. Panchayats will start. Okay, 243 A, B, C, all these things. You also have to remember these things also. The subsections are also asked. So Gram Sabha constitution, okay, and composition, reservation, duration, and disqualification, okay, powers to impose taxes, and audit of accounts, constitution of finance commission to review finance. So regarding the panchayats also 243I, there is a constitution of finance commission to review the financial position, and K elections, L is application to union territories. So similarly 243 from after O from P you have for the municipalities same again 243, and recently cooperative societies has also been added. Okay, so these amendments also you have to remember through which amendment this has been added. That such questions are also asked. So we'll also such questions will come later on. When it comes, we'll look at the amendments also. So 243 ZH to ZT is cooperative societies. Okay, and also 19. So which article facilitates formation and monitoring of cooperative societies? So Article 19 is what you say, a right to speech and expression, right? There 19(1)(c). Okay, so 19(1)(c) also is regarding formation and monitoring of cooperative societies. Okay, let me cross check. So this is also very very important. So in general, when you say Article 19, okay, that comes as speech and expression, right? Speech, expression, association, assembly, movement, residence, profession, and all those things. So within that subsections, 19(1)(c), C is related to cooperative society. Remember that. Okay, very important. So what is described in the 72 article of the Constitution? So again, as when we saw the president, we saw very important. President starts at 52, okay, and 72 is the pardoning power of the president. Very, very, very important. Okay, so president starts at 52, and 72 is power of the president to grant pardons. Very important. This is 72, and power of the governor. Okay, governor. See, this is 52, right? So governor starts from 153, right? So 153 is governor, and power of governor to grant pardon is 161. So this is also important. Remember, there 72. Here it is 161. Okay, those are powers to grant pardons. So 72, Article 72 is pardoning power of the president. So central ministers. Okay, election commission will be 324. Okay, fine. So president is 52, vice president is 63, I believe. Okay, 63. Vice president is 63. So you have to remember all these things, at least a few articles. So Article 262. So just now we have seen 263 is interstate council, right? Article 263 is okay. 263. 263 is interstate council. 262 is interstate rivers disputes, river water disputes. So Article 262 is interstate river water disputes, formation of tribunals. Okay. So the following act is considered as an atrocity under SC/ST Prevention of Atrocities Act. So, disallowing any member of scheduled caste or scheduled tribe from marrying a forward class member. Okay, dumping waste matter in front of the premises of any member of a scheduled caste or scheduled tribe. Denial of admission of any member of a scheduled caste or scheduled tribe in an educational institution. Okay, so see, these are also true. Okay, disallowing a member from marrying a forward class. So these are also what you say discrimination. But under this atrocity, okay, when we're talking about this act, Prevention of Atrocities Act, uh, this atrocities, what are atrocities? So this is the atrocity. Dumping waste matter in front of the premises of any member of a scheduled caste or scheduled tribe is an atrocity under the act. Okay, so these are discriminations. Discriminations are different. Atrocity is doing something atrocious. Okay, so in that particular question, dumping waste is a atrocity. It's a fundamental duty to renounce insulting women under. So everybody knows Article 51 is fundamental duties, but these subsections are frequently asked. So out of 75 questions, at least 5 to 6 or maybe 10 also subsections will be there. So you need to be able to identify. So fundamental duties. This one, okay, 51. Okay, 51A is fundamental duties. Which, so fundamental duties are also very important. Frequently questions are asked. So all these things. So he's talking about dignity of women, right? And this duty was added by 86 Constitutional Amendment Act of 2002. Okay, 2002 86 Constitutional Amendment to provide opportunities for education of child. So this is right to education, right? So one fundamental duty was added, and Article 45 was content was changed, and 21A was added. Article 21A. Anyway, we are looking at dignity of women is E, to promote harmony and spirit of common brotherhood among the people of India, transcending religious, linguistic, regional, or sectional diversities, and to renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of women is E. Okay, E, you should not what is it, derogatory to women. So let us look at the question. Try to remember the subsections also. So it is a fundamental duty to renounce insulting women under E. Okay, 51A E. So 51 is promoting international relations, something like that will come, right? That is different. Anyway, fine. So 51A is fundamental duties, right? Part 4A, right? Part 3 is fundamental rights. Part 4 is direct principles of state policy. Part 4A is fundamental duties. In that 51A, E is regarding women. Okay. Next, panchayats are given powers to impose taxes under Article 243H. So we already seen 243O and all those things, right? So panchayats is 243 to 243O. Okay. So in the taxes is 243H, to impose taxes and funds for panchayat, that is 243H. So where is this 243H? So panchayats are given powers to impose taxes under 243H. E, G, F, right? So G, F, E. Let's see. They are also very important. E is duration of panchayats, F is disqualification, and G is powers. Okay, powers, authority, and responsibilities. Okay, so E is duration. Okay, G is powers and authority, everything. F, what we've seen, disqualification for membership. So these are all important. H is taxes. Okay, taxes, funds, etc. comes under H. So in the Berubari case, the Supreme Court said preamble is not part of the Constitution. Okay, remember that. This we have seen the evolution of the basic structure of the Constitution. We've seen, right? First Shankari Prasad case, next Golaknath, next Keshwananda Bharati case. Okay, last comes Minerva Mills, etc. So in Berubari case, what they said in Keshwananda Bharati case, what we have seen, the doctrine of the basic structure of the Constitution has been propounded, And in Minerva Mills case also judicial review was added to the basic structure. So in Berubari case, what the Supreme Court said was preamble is not part of the constitution. Okay, so you cannot amend it, something like that. The chairman of the Constituent Assembly was Rajendra Prasad, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Okay, so exactly such a question they may not ask. But if you know that the chairman of the Constituent Assembly was Dr. Rajendra Prasad, then when they ask 5 to 6 statements, and one of the statements says the chairman is, suppose they say the chairman is Dr. B. R. Ambedkar. So you have to identify that Dr. B. R. Ambedkar is the chairman of the drafting committee, not the chairman of the Constituent Assembly. So like that, you will be able to eliminate some of the options. So have these one-liners also clear. Appointment of governor by Union Government of India is called as modified federalism. So appointment of governor by Union Government of India. So in a federal structure, okay, strict federalism means there has to be complete what you say separation between union and federal. But here the union is having the authority over the federal, because governor means he's an agent of the central government and having powers over the state government. So basically, strict federalism, you are modifying it. So it is called as modified federalism. So the highest law officer under the Indian Constitution is Attorney General. Okay, not advocate or CAG. CAG is not a law officer also. So the Solicitor General is also subordinate to this. Attorney General is the highest. Okay. So you have Attorney General at the union level, Advocate General at the state level. We have seen all that. So in the LLC of India versus the Consumer Education and Research case, Supreme Court held that preamble is an integral part of the Constitution. So in the Berubari Union case, it said preamble is not an integral part. In the LLC, okay, LLC of India versus Consumer Education, it said preamble is an integral part of the Constitution. The following are the fundamentals for governance of the country. So, see, fundamental rights are limitations on the government. Okay, so direct to principles are the fundamental for governance of the country. So any government that comes to power will look at the directive principles for governance. Okay, whatever the directive principles are saying, look after the welfare of the state. Okay, avoid intoxicating drugs and all these things. So most of the laws we have about governance are based on the directive principles, and the directive principles we've taken from the Irish Constitution. Okay, the following amendment extends reservation up to 2020. So 95th amendment. So now we have come to the amendments, right? So let us also briefly look at these latest amendments, not all the last. Okay, see, these are the latest, right? These are the latest amendments. Let us quickly look at it. 101. Okay, so let us go back to 95 is the question, right? So 86th amendment is, you can say, kind of this what is called is usually called the right to education, right? Just now we've seen 86th Amendment Act of 2002. It added a fundamental duty 51A, that is it's a duty of every citizen who is a parent or guardian to provide opportunities for education to his child or one between 6 to 14. So it's a fundamental duty, and for that 6 to 14 they have added a 21A in the fundamental rights. So the state shall provide fee compulsory education for 6 to 14. Okay. So it is a fundamental right, 21A, and it is also a fundamental duty. So because the state is providing, it is the duty of the parent to give education to the kids. And 45 is up to 6 years. See, 6 to 14 is covered in these two. So 45, the content has been changed to up to 6 years. Because the government does not provide education before 6 years, right? It only provides from first standard. It doesn't provide LKG, UKG, etc. Okay, so 86th Amendment Act 2002 is also considered as right to education. So 95th, right? 95th C. 95th Amendment Act 2009 extended the reservation of seats for SCs and STs, okay, up to 2020. Okay, so that is 95th. Latest one, see, 101 is regarding GST. Remember 101. Remember very dryly. Okay, don't remember too much. 101 GST, 102 BC. Okay, 102 BC, also 2018. This is 2016. 103 is again 10% EWS. Okay, 103 is EWS. Okay, 104 is again SCST. You can say it provides reservation of seats in Lok Sabha and is up to 2030. So basically, up to 2020, we have seen 95th. Okay, 95th extended up to 2020. So 104th extended up to 2030. So 95 is related to 104. Remember like that. 95 equal to 104. So 105th is state government to identify socially and educationally backward classes. This is quite recent, right? 2021. It's in the news also. So basically, it's the state government that will identify the socially and educationally backward classes. Okay. And 106 is reserves one third. This is very recent, right? 2023. This is the women reservation bill. That is 106th. 106th women reservation bill provides for one third of all seats for women in Lok Sabha, state legislative assemblies, and the legislative assembly of NCT Delhi, including those reserved for SC/STs. So basically, it's women reservation. Okay, so 101 is GST, 102 is BC. Okay, 103 is EWS. Okay, and 104 we said is equal to 95, right? So basically the reservation for SC and ST up to 2030, that is 104, and 105 is state will identify the BC. So basically 105 and 102 both are regarding the backward classes. This is the National Commission and this is the state government to identify. So 106 is women reservation. Okay, so remember dryly. So 95th, okay, 95th amendment is extending reservation up to 2020. So now they may not ask 95th, they will ask 104. Okay, 95 is equal to 104. 104 is extending reservation up to how much? 2030. So 84, 98, and 77. Just let's quickly look. Okay, what is 98? 98 is not very important. Okay, 77 and 84. 97 is gave constitutional status and protection to cooperative societies. So this is very, very, very important. Okay, this 97th Amendment Act is very, very, very important. Okay, so because it is related to cooperative societies, one thing is it added a fundamental right. 19, we've already seen 19 E, right? 19E. Next, directive principle 43A we've seen previously, it was there. Now 43B is also there. Directive principles of state policy, promotion of cooperative societies, Article 43B. Very, very important. Next, 243 we've seen from 243 to 43A to O. Okay, from K to K, and then we have that is panchayats. Then you have municipalities, and then you have ZH to ZT is cooperative societies. So 97th is very important. Okay. So these are all very 86 is also right to education, very, very, very important. So the landmark judgment of the Supreme Court on Uniform Civil Code is the Sarla Mudgal versus Union of India. So Sarla Mudgal versus Union of India is the landmark judgment of the Supreme Court on Uniform Civil Code. So Uniform Civil Code is Article 44. Very, very, very important. Okay, Article 44 is Uniform Civil Code, and the judgment related to that is Sarla Mudgal versus Union of India. Remember these landmark cases. In case of repugnancy between central law and state law, okay, the central law shall prevail without any exception. That means in the concurrent list, for example, if there is a repugnancy between the central law and the state law, then the central law shall prevail without any exception. Okay, the state law will not prevail. Both the laws will be struck down. No, state law is within the concurrent list. It will prevail. No, not like that. Okay, the central law will prevail if there is any clash between a concurrent list, like education, suppose. So, which government appointed the Mandal Commission on Backward Classes? Janata government. Okay. Next, a high-level committee for preparation of the report on the social, economic, and the educational status of Muslim community. So immediately when you say Muslim, first thing it should come to is Sachar committee. Okay, you should not read the question also literally. First thing, minorities, I mean the Muslim community means Sachar committee. Okay, it should be in your mind. So anyway, of India was set up in 2005, submitted report in 2006. Okay, it was Sachar committee, Rajendra Sachar. Sachar committee, immediately you have to remember Muslim. Okay, Muslim community. This is common. Obviously, they will have for development, socio-economic and educational status. Okay, so all these committees, Rajamanar committee, Narsimhan committee. See, Narsimhan committee means immediately you have to remember banking. Okay, and all these things very important. Okay, so Sachar committee. Sachar committee means immediately development of Muslim community. So the Terrorist and Disruptive Act, TADA Act, okay, very powerful act. Anything related to terrorist, okay, UAPA, TADA, and all these are very, they have lots of powers. I am not sure if they are in service now. Anyway, 1985, TADA Act was passed in 1985. Okay, so education is included in the concurrent list. As I said, agriculture, education, police, law and order, all those things come under concurrent list. And also those five which were moved from state list to concurrent list, education will be one of that. Okay, forests. So the political system adopted in the constitution could be both unitary as well as federal according to the requirements of time and circumstances. So who said this? Ambedkar. Both unitary as well as federal. So who said what and all these things are sometimes asked. So the National Development Council was formed in the year 1952. Okay, remember that. National Development Council 1952. So according to Article 250, during the operation of emergency, okay, Article 250, during the operation of emergency, Parliament has power to make laws both from the union list and the state list, but such laws will cease to have effect on the expiration of 6 months after the proclamation of emergency has ceased to operate. So this is a very standard statement. Okay. So 6 months after, when there is emergency, Parliament can make both laws on both union list and state list. Okay. Concurrent list as it is, Parliament law will prevail, and that will cease to operate after 6 months after the emergency is over. Remember that. That is Article 250. Fine. In every district, dash may be specified as a human rights court. Okay, courts of session. So if you look at court system, you have Supreme Court, then you have the high courts, and then you have the district courts, civil courts, okay, municipal courts, and you have tribunals, you have family courts, mobile courts, all this. So courts of session. In every district, there will be a court of session, which is specified as the human rights court. Okay. So in an area in transition from a rural area to an urban area, dash may be constituted in every state. So see, Nagar Panchayats basically. Okay, Kamp Panchayats are at village level. They are not official also. And municipal council and municipal corporation. If it is a big city, like say, I mean Vishakhapatnam, for example. So big cities, they'll get a municipal corporation. So next you have what you say, urban areas, not cities but urban areas. You'll have municipal councils, and these areas which are in transition from a rural area to urban area. So if it is a rural area and slowly becoming the urban area, then that will have Nagar Panchayats. Okay, remember that. So minority, for the purpose of the National Commission for Minorities, means community notified as such by the Parliament. So this Parliament will have to notify this minorities. So just now we have seen sometime back amendments also. Okay, so we are sometime back we have seen amendments, right, regarding the state has the power to identify. It is 105th. Okay, it revived the power of the state governments to identify socially and educationally backward this thing. So, but when it comes to National Commission for Minorities, the community means notified as such by the Parliament. Okay, so the Parliament has the authority to notify a particular community as a minority. Next, Finance Commission shall be constituted under Article 280. Very, very, very important. Okay. So 280, 245, 219 and 270. So let us first look at 219. What is 219? Okay. So 219 oath or affirmation by judges of High Court. So basically you have to remember 214, okay, High Court. Supreme Court we've seen 123, right? So Supreme Court, this is High Courts. Supreme Court is 124, right? Okay, remember that. So Supreme Court starts from 124, okay? Supreme Court starts from 124 and High Court starts from 214, okay? Easy to remember. 124, 214, just little bit change. Okay, so 124 is Supreme Court, 214 is High Court. So when you remember that 214 is High Court, you will remember 219 is also something related to that. So oath or affirmation by judges. And okay, all these are important. We remembered this power of High Court to issue writs. This is very important. 226. Okay, next 245. So 245 will be extent of laws made by Parliament and legislature of states. Not very important. Next 270. So 270 will be taxes levied distributed between union and states. So these days these are also not very important because GST has come. 280 is Finance Commission and 279A is Goods and Service Tax Council. Okay, 279 and 280. So anyway, Article 280 is Finance Commission. Okay, every 5 years a Finance Commission. In Bikaji versus State of MP, Supreme Court has propounded the following doctrine of eclipse. Okay, fine. So sometime back we have seen Sarla Mutkal, right? Sarla Mutkal case, and like this, all this Berubari Union case, all these things. In Berubari Union, it said preamble is not a part. In Sarla Mutkal, it said preamble is a part. And in Bikaji was a state of MP, it has said that doctrine of eclipse. The doctrine of basic future is Keshwananda Bharati case 1973. So the Constitution 93rd Amendment has inserted dash into this thing. So 93rd. So we will just now seen 86th, right? Right to education we have seen. Where is that? 86th is the right to education, and we are talking about 93rd, 93. So 93, 94th, 93rd Amendment. Okay, not very important. Empowered the state to make special provisions for the socially educational backward classes. Okay, scheduled tribes, etc., etc. So, except minority education is clause by Article 15. This amendment was enacted to nullify the Supreme Court judgment in the Inamdar case, where the apex court ruled that the state cannot impose reservation policy on minority and non-minority unaided private colleges, professional colleges, etc., etc. So basically, Article 15 and all this is 93rd. So what is the question? Constitution 93rd Amendment has inserted Article 15.5. Try to remember that. 15.5. Okay, fundamental rights. Article 14 is right to equality, equal protection of laws. 15 is non-discrimination against all those things and employment, all that. So President can seek Supreme Court advisory opinion under 143. We have seen multiple times. Okay. So 123 is ordinance making power. That's also very important. Okay. 123 is also very important. So 123 power of president to promulgate ordinances during the recess of the parliament. Very, very, very important. Okay, 123 and 140, 139. Okay, 143 is also very important. Okay, power of the president can seek Supreme Court advisory opinion under 143, and we have seen 142 is enforcement of decrees and orders by the Supreme Court. So Supreme Court starts from 124 and all that we've seen 130. Okay, seat of Supreme Court, 131 original jurisdiction, 132 appellate jurisdiction. So slowly, if you come to 140, what will be there? 140 will be ancillary powers of Supreme Court. Not very important. 139 transfer of certain cases, conferment of Supreme Court powers to issue certain writs. Not very important. But 123 is ordinance making power of the president. Very important. 143 is advisory jurisdiction. Very important. 142 is also important. Enforcement of decrees. Article 326. Okay, 324 is Election Commission. So 325, 326, 327. Voting age for every citizen is reduced to 18 years under 326. Okay, adult suffrage. These articles are very important, and when asked, most people who have been preparing for a long time will answer all these questions. Okay, and 10 to 15 marks here will change the whole selection. So you have to remember. Article 324 is Election Commission. Okay, 325 no person ineligible. Okay, 326 adult suffrage. So 326 is basically above 18 years. Adult suffrage means on the base of 18 years. So remember 324 is Election Commission. 325 is non-discrimination. So everybody can be is eligible. It should not be discriminated on basis of religion, race, caste, or sex. 326 is adult suffrage. So 326 is adult suffrage, 18 years. 327 is power of parliament to make provision with respect to elections to legislature. Okay, not very important. But remember 324 is election commission, 326 is suffrage, and 325 is non-discrimination based on race, caste, sex, and everything. So the name of a state can be changed by parliamentary law. Okay, very easy. Article 3. Okay, just by simple resolution, it can be changed. Name of a state. It doesn't require constitutional amendment. State government can't do it. Governor can't do it. It should be done through a parliamentary law. Following is regarded as the first speaker and father of the Lok Sabha. Okay, GM Mavalankar. Okay, Neelam Sanjeeva Reddy has been Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh and President of India once. And G.V. Mavalankar was the first speaker and father of Lok Sabha. Okay, remember that. Very important. First chairman of Rajya Sabha was Dr. Radhakrishnan. Okay. Zakir Hussain, V.V. Giri, Raja Prasad, they were all presidents, right? Dr. S. Radhakrishnan was also president, but first chairman of Rajya Sabha was Dr. Radhakrishnan. Okay. That means first vice president also. Anyway, next Minority Commission was established by the resolution of Central Home Department 1978. So Minority Commission, Central Home Department, not Labor Welfare Minority. So there is a Minority Department, okay, but Minority Commission was established by the Central Home Department 1978. Who appoints the Lokayukta and Upalokayukta governor? Okay, Lokayukta and Upalokayukta are appointed by governor. The registration of political parties is done as per the Representation of the People Act 1951. Very, very, very important. Okay, because it is political parties related to election, it is not election commission, not Article 322, 324. 324 is also election commission. So all these things are not. The Representation of the People Act 1951 gives for the registration of political parties. So who formed the Swatantra Party in 1959 as alternative to Congress? So 1959, quite early. So who formed the Swatantra Party? Acharya N.G. Ranga, Minu Masani, K. M. Munshi, Pilu Modi. Okay, try to remember all those. Acharya N.G. Ranga, K. M. Munshi, and Minu Masani. So what are the main reasons for the rise of regional movements? Economic reasons, political and administrative reasons, historical and cultural reasons. So all the above. So given below, which divisions of some states are demanding separate states? Okay, so Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, I think already done, right? Uttar Pradesh already done, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, all of the above are demanding separate states. Okay, Nagaland is there, Gujarat, Maharashtra, everywhere. Okay, Saurashtra, Vidarbha. Okay, Andhra, Telangana already done. In our country, by the formation of which party various political parties were formed and began to function. So basically, Congress 1885 by Sir A.O. Hume. Okay, A.O. Alan Octavian Hume is the founder of Congress 1885. All those things. Okay. Given below, which statement is not related to Black Money and Imposition of Tax Act 2015, which passed by the Parliament recently. So black money illegally preserved in our country. Okay. So illegal properties, which of the below statement is not related to this? So all the others are related to this Black Money and Imposition of Tax Act 2015. Illegal properties preserved in foreign countries. This bill facilitates to impose 120% tax and fine on the black money, which is especially in foreign countries. Gives power to the central government to attach the properties in India of an individual equivalent to the properties present in foreign countries. Okay. So actually, this particular act, Black Money and Imposition of Tax, okay, this particular act is dealing with black money in foreign countries. Remember that. That is why black money illegally preserved in our country is not dealt by with this particular tax. So what are the special agencies formed on regional basis? So regional basis, all these things. Municipal corporation, as I said, large cities, then municipal councils, okay, then what you say, nagar panchayats, cantonment boards, okay. Cantonment boards means where there is a military or defense or anything. That's for cantonment board. So those military establishments where you have the their houses and all those things, that administration is taken over by the cantonment boards, laying roads, sewage department, water supply, all these things. Okay. So regional basis again townships. Whenever there's a big SEZ or something nearby, there are townships or railways. Okay, there. So apart from the work area, their living area, their quarters and all those things. Multi-purpose agencies can be there. So all the above. So the members of the Legislative Assembly of Delhi and Pondicherry were given right to participate in the election of president under 70th Amendment Act. So we have seen that in the election of the president, all elected members of the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, union, state governments, and union territories also. So this Delhi and Pondicherry, basically, even they can vote, has been added to the 70th Amendment Act. Okay, and 86th is very important, right? Right to education. We have seen just now. 86th. 73rd, 74th are also very, very important, right? Panchayats and municipalities. 73rd and 74th of 1992, they're also very, very, very important. They're some of the landmark. In mains also frequently questions are asked. 70, where is this? So 73 granted constitutional status to Panchayat Raj institutions, 29 functions. 74th, okay, both are 1992. This is municipalities. Amended has a new part 9A, okay. So this is 9, okay, part 9 panchayats, part 9A municipalities, okay. This is 29 functions and this is 18 functions, okay. 29 panchayats, 29 items will be there. Schedule 11, schedule 12 is municipalities, and it will have 18 functions. So which of the following are areas identified by Niti Aayog to engage in? Land leasing, land titling, right to education act. So all these are there. So recently land titling act in AP they have introduced, right? There's a lot of political dissent and all these things. So land titling, land leasing, right to education also has been dealt by Niti Aayog. When did Sarkaria Commission was appointed? Very fundamental, 1983. Okay, 1983 Sarkaria Commission, and 2009, I think. Just go through. 1983 Sarkaria Commission. Who will be appointed as district returning officer? Obviously, district collector. Okay, not all these people. District collector will be the district returning officer. Which items were removed from the purview of the second administrative reforms commissions? Okay, so second ARC reforms, their suggestions and the recommendations, they are also very important. So we look into that in detail sometime. So which of the following items were removed from their purview? Defense, railways, external affairs, security, intelligence, okay, central relations. They are all not there. Fine. Mostly it is related to this administration, ethics, and several other issues. We look into that. Very important. So under which article of the Constitution taxes are levied as well as collected by the union and given to the states? So after GST came, we've seen Article 279A. Most of these old taxes were subsumed, but it is Article 269. Okay, no need to go into that depth. So under whose leadership a committee was appointed in 1975 by the central government to study about the recruitment process of the civil services? It is Kothari Committee. Okay, very important. The other committees are also important. Kothari Committee is in 1975 is regarding the civil services recruitment process. So which rule states that the CAG is appointed by the President of India? 148. Okay, 148 states that CAG is appointed by the President of India. So it's not article or 148. So 148 is Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Very important. 148. So this is not rule. This is basically article. Okay, Article 148 is related to CAG. Which among the following was not a chairperson of National Commission for Women. So these others were chairmen. Okay, difficult to remember. Just go through Mohinigiri, Purnima Advani, and Jayanti Patnaik. Anyway, who acts as the chairman and vice chairman of the zonal councils? So chairman will be Union Home Minister and vice chairman will be Chief Minister. Okay, the zonal councils are also very important. Frequent questions are asked. So Northeastern Zonal Council, Northern, Southern, Western, Eastern, Central also. So they're very important. Union Home Minister is the chairman and Chief Minister is the vice chairman. So the judge of a Supreme Court shall send his resignation to the President of India. So whether it's the Chief Justice or judges of Supreme Court, Chief Justice or judges of the High Court, they are all appointed by the President of India and they give the resignation to President of India. Okay, directly, not to the Chief Justice or anything, directly to the President of India. So judges, removal of judges go through a impeachment process. It is not that easy. So the 47th Conference of Governors was held on. Okay, no need to remember such old questions. Who is the chairman of Legislative Council? Okay, I am member chosen as chairman. We are talking about Legislative Council. In the case of Rajya Sabha, it is outright vice president. The vice president is by de facto chairman of the Rajya Sabha. But when it comes to the states, MLC, Legislative Council, it's not the governor, not the speaker, not the deputy speaker. It is any member chosen as the chairman from that particular. So any MLC who is chosen becomes the chairman. The members of the state legislature can focus the attention of the government on matters of public importance through adjournment motion. Okay. So cut motion we have seen. Cut motion means if suppose if they have allocated suppose amount to one particular policy and the opposition or the parliament in general doesn't want to give so much money to that policy, then they'll go for cut motion. Okay, so they will reduce the funds to rupees 1, something like that. That is cut motion. Censure motion. Okay, censure motion is they will close that particular this thing, and a no confidence motion means the government will fall down. So basically, if the sufficient numbers are not there for the government, they'll put a no confidence motion, they'll pass, and if it is passed, then the government will fall down, new government will be invited by the governor. So that is why when it comes to the term of the parliament or the legislative assembly, there is no fixed term. Usually it is 5 years, but it is not fixed. So adjournment motion means members of the state legislature can focus the attention of the government on matters of public importance through adjournment motion also. So adjournment means that mostly the opposition or someone they don't accept with the policy matters of the government and adjournment takes place. It can be take place for a few hours, few weeks or few days. Adjournment sign die means for that particular day it is over, and prorogation means that particular session is completely over. That is the difference between adjournment and prorogation. So which of the following powers of the PM with regard to the conduct of the foreign relations are incorrect? So 2, 3, 4 are incorrect. He represents the country in various international conferences. That is true. He receives the diplomatic envoys of other countries. This will be taken over by the finance minister. Sorry, not finance. Ministry of External Affairs. He always heads the foreign affairs ministry. No, not required. PM is not the head of the foreign affairs ministry. You have external affairs ministry. He is the only spokesman of the government on external affairs. No, definitely wrong. You have the external affairs minister. So 2, 3, 4 are wrong. So which of the following statements about the Vice President of India are not correct? So B and C are wrong. In order to be Vice President, person must be qualified for election as a member of the House of the People. Okay, he can be removed through a formal impeachment. So he is saying which are not correct. So a member of the State Legislative Assembly can seek election in that office. The term of the office of the Vice President is same as that of the President. Okay, so basically I think is B and C are correct, right? A and D are wrong. He can be removed through a formal impeachment. Impeachment procedure is not there for vice president, and in order to be vice president, he must be qualified as a member of people. That is Lok Sabha. No, this is wrong. He should be qualified as a member of the elders, member of the Rajya Sabha. So here is asking not correct. So here B and C is correct. So what is not correct is A and D. Okay. A member of the State Legislative Assembly can seek election to the office definitely. Even if you are MLA, you can seek You can try for becoming the vice president. Term of the office of the vice president is same as that of the president. Okay, that is also true. So B and C are correct. A and D are not correct. So which of the following will be the consequence of the declaration of the national emergency by president? So emergency means article number 352. Okay, 356 is the president's rule. All those are very important. 352 and 356. Okay. So 352 is proclamation of emergency and 356 is provision in case of failure of constitutional machinery in states. That means the president rule. So if the constitutional machinery is breaking down in the states, then the governor will suggest the president. The president will what you say give what is the provision for the president rule. Then it will be governed. The elected government will be brought down, and the government will be what is say the governance will be carried on by the governor in the name of the president. That is president rule. Very important. So, if an emergency has been declared by the president can issue directives to the state executive. That will be there. The president can extend the tenure of the Lok Sabha definitely. Okay, by 1 year each, right? The president can modify the distribution pattern of financial resources between the states and center definitely. Okay, so when there is an emergency, national emergency, Article 352, president can do all these things. The concept of speaker was borrowed from the Constitution of Britain. Okay, consider the following statements. The Rajya Sabha alone has the power to declare that it would be in the national interest for the parliament to legislate with respect to matters of the state list. This is very important. Okay. So when it comes to giving power for the parliament to legislate with respect to matter in state list or giving the asking the parliament to create a new all India service, that can be done only with the help of Rajya Sabha. If you want to create a new all India service, it cannot be done by the Lok Sabha. That bill has to be passed through initiated by Rajya Sabha only. So next, so P is correct. Resolutions approving the proclamation of emergency are passed only by the Lok Sabha. So resolutions approving the proclamation of emergency are passed both by Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Okay, they can be removed. The emergency can be removed only by the Lok Sabha. So which of the following are correct? Only P is correct. So which of the following countries have bicameral parliament? Okay, all these things. India has bicameral. We have Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. USA has no. Britain has. Australia, Canada, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, everybody. Okay, all these people have bicameral parliament. So when the union government gives a special status to a particular state, which does it imply? Special category status. Subsequently, large percentage of the central assistance will be in grants in aid. So grants in aid means free, no interest, nothing. So if you get special category status, it doesn't mean that union government will meet expenditure entire, no, and extend loan as a percentage, not this also. Budget deficit, not that one. So basically, large percentage of the central assistance will be in the form of grants in aid. That's why many states will ask for special status. Okay, so we have completed one model paper number 13. Okay, thank you.